Welcome to this week's TESPN Podcast. We're joined here by senior swimmer Owen DeFrancesca, senior diver Lindsey Wright, senior TESPN member and football player Sam Gorey. I'm Rick Hamlin here. We're going to ask these guys some questions for this week's podcast. Owen, let's start with you. You're pretty deep into your swimming season now. Can you just talk to the viewers about how the season's been going?
Season's been going great. Got to meet a lot of younger swimmers who I haven't met before. That's been a great experience. I like seeing how everyone's kind of developed on the team and how they've gotten faster. People are meeting their goals, qualifying for states. The chemistry's really been building, and it's just been a great experience all around.
That's awesome. And speaking of chemistry, Lindsey, for you as a diver, you're kind of, I assume, at practice maybe off more or less doing your own thing, so how do you, in such an individual sport, how do you make yourself part of that team chemistry and be, I think you and I talked back on Media Day about your leadership of this program, and also from being a field hockey player, you've been seen firsthand what great team leadership looks like. So what's your kind of method to be, even in something so individual as diving, to be part of the broader team community?
Well, with diving, it's kind of like, you're all in it together as a team. It is very individual, but diving is, 100% mental. And so a lot of it is just, as a captain and as, the only one that's really ever dove before, it's a lot of just sort of, telling them that they're capable of doing, what they're afraid of, and that, we wouldn't ask any of them that something that they couldn't do, and, just that's what we do as teammates, just hype each other up, and it's all up to them at the end of the day, what they do on the board. But as a teammate and team members, we just have to tell them that they can do anything they put their mind to, pretty much.
That's a great answer. So I'm gonna head over to Owen. So Owen, you've competitively swam for pretty much your whole life coming into high school, and then you did your first year as a freshman, you competitively swam, right?
Yes, sir.
And then going into your sophomore year, you took a little hiatus from swimming, got a little burned out, but like Michael Jordan, you made your great return.
Exactly.
So, what's it been like coming back to the sport that you used to really grind at the whole year, and coming back just in the school setting, and how's it been, kind of getting back acclimated to your former competitive swimming self?
Well, I will say taking that year off has really made me appreciate the sport more. I think I've just been doing it for so long every day. I was really getting burnt out of it. And it really wasn't the Trinity team that made me quit. It was really my year-round club. Just felt like I needed the whole year off, though, from swimming to mentally kind of figure myself out. But coming back to it, definitely not as good as I used to be, but it's nice to work back to that and, set some goals for myself.
No, yeah, for sure. So, another question for Owen. Coming back into this final stretch of the season, like you said, you made a couple goals for yourself, and I'm sure your team has goals and all the individuals have their own goals, but, what are your mindset into, hitting these kind of end game goals, because a bunch of people just qualified for states, but how do you guys want to finish this season?
Well, obviously we want to finish strong, I'm a sprinter, so that 50 free, I've got that sprinter mindset, I'm looking to my right, looking to my left, I'm saying no way these guys are going to beat me. I'm going to come out top dog.
I love it. All right, so Lindsey, the dive team at Trinity isn't really the biggest team.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the most people out there, but
Yeah.
being the only senior out there, what's it been like, kind of being the person that's always looked up to, the mentor towards all the younger kids, how's it been kind of guiding them into, I guess, their diving careers, given that you've been such a decorated diver?
It's honestly fun. It's nice because it puts a little extra pressure on me to kind of put myself to my highest potential, and so it's a little bit stressful, obviously, because you have all those younger kids looking up to you, and I mean, the other day one of our sophomores had her very first meet ever, and I realized halfway through that no one really told her what to do, and so she ended up balking, which is just starting a hurdle and then stopping, which you can't do. You'll get like 2 points off automatically. And so there are little reminders here and there that like they don't know really what they're doing, and so I have to really step up and be there. And at that same meet we have like a number system for dives, which no one else really knows. So I'm kind of running back and forth, telling everyone what dive they're going to be doing next, and I really don't mind. It's kind of fun, being there for them and showing them what they're going to do next. And I like seeing the younger people getting into the sport that I love, and hopefully they'll bring more of their friends and more underclassmen up when I leave. So
That's awesome. And I mean, just from a coaching standpoint, for you as an athlete to take almost that coach on the team, philosophy that you're not just an athlete, but you're really going to help guide them. I can't tell you how much coaches appreciate that. It just makes our job a lot easier. And I think that the younger athletes, it resonates more when a peer who might be 1 or 2 or 3 years older talks to them versus someone who might be 10 or 15 or 30 years older. All right, so as we kind of approach toward the end of the season, I guess we're just a couple weeks away from league meet and then state meet. For each of you, individual, like what's the best case scenario in terms of a finish? And for each of you individually, and then also for our team.
I would say my personal goal, I want to do well in that 50 free at states. Top 5 finish would be amazing. Definitely my goal. Shooting around 22.6 time would be pretty nice.
And how about for you, Lindsay?
For LAS specifically, which is a week from today actually, I have my goal for myself that, I think I can win that, and I think I can do pretty well in that. And, for states individually, I honestly have no idea, just to go out and do my best. And,
Your sophomore year, I assume there was no league meet last year, but what did you get in diving?
I don't exactly remember my sophomore year, but junior year, I ended up getting 4th, I believe, but that was just like video recordings and with like really like 1 practice a week, and it was kind of a mess, but.
Yeah. So, Lindsay, heading into the final stages of your senior season, you've been one of the best divers to come through Trinity, really ever. So, what's it been like, your mindset going into finishing your career here, and what's your end game goal for your last part of the season?
My mindset is really just to do my best and, meet those expectations that I have for myself, which, is really just to do everything that I know I'm capable of and, meet the expectations that my coaches have of me and, my teammates. And, my goal coming into the season was, to break that school record of 402, I believe. And, looking into it, there is, since last year was a COVID year, it was pretty much like a year off. It's been harder than I thought, but, I do still have expectations for myself, and hopefully, you never know, I don't know.
Yeah, gotta keep grinding. Shove it on going.
Sure. So, Owen, a lot of these younger guys and a lot of your peers really look up to you as the team leader of all of Trinity swimming. And so, earlier you talked about how you love seeing the younger guys getting into their state qualifications, hitting all their times. But what's it been like kind of mentoring them through hitting their goals, since you're such a fast sprinter yourself? I'm sure you've been able to give some tips here and there, but what's it really been like with those relationships with younger players?
I think like Lindsay said, just seeing those guys like love the sport that you're into, I think that's a beautiful thing. And just, I like seeing these guys happy when, you build that relationship with them and then you see them succeed. I just think that's a great thing. I'm happy for them. I can't wait to see what they do at States.
I have one more, and then we'll do a quick lightning round, which is, in all my years here, which is 20 now plus, Trinity Swim and Dive has always been kind of known for like the culture of the program. And for you all as swimmers and divers, for viewers who maybe haven't been out there to meet just because y'all are not on campus, can you kind of describe what the team culture is like?
I've always kind of looked at it as like when I was a freshman, the seniors kind of set the tone. They kind of set that fun like environment, like we're a family. You know, we're all in this together. I just feel like as the years go on, like it's each like senior class's job to kind of carry on that theme and then kind of add their own spin to it. You know, just to make every season different, but you know, same amount of fun, great time.
Yeah, dive team is a little bit different. You know, my freshman year it was, you know, kind of out there doing your own thing. It was just me and 2 seniors, and you know that was just weird because you know they were like 18 and I was like 14, 15, and
Right.
it was crazy to me. But you know, as the years gone on, especially sophomore year and up, it's just been like, you know, it's like a little family because there's so little of us, and you know, you just get those really tight bonds, and you just kind of have fun with each other, and then you have fun with the other schools too. I mean, you will see us cheering on the sideline for collegiate people, Stewart people, because we practice with them sometimes,
That's cool.
and you just become best friends, and you want everyone to succeed, even if that means that you don't do as well as you want to. But it's really interesting, and it's really fun.
That's cool. We're gonna go with this lightning around here. All right.
Sounds
All
right.
great.
Sam, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna ask the questions so you can answer them as well. These are just gonna be some fun questions, not necessarily swim or dive related, just as they pop in my head. All right. Let's start with favorite pregame meal or
Ooh,
pre-meet for you guys.
I'm gonna have to go fettuccine alfredo, some chicken in there. Got to carb up.
I was gonna say pasta too, just like some nice like buttered noodles.
Probably 2 scoops of pre-workout.
Let's go.
What's your dream school?
Dream school, Texas Christian.
You going there?
Yes, sir.
Congratulations.
I appreciate it.
Go Horned Frogs.
Yes, sir.
Probably NC State for engineering.
Nice.
Maybe Harvard Law.
I think you could get there, Sam. I think you could get there. Hype song.
Hype song, Hats Off by Lil Baby.
That's incredible.
Something Beyonce. I don't know.
March Madness by Future.
Good song.
Favorite class you've taken at Trinity?
I'm gonna have to say any history class taught by Mr. Hanlon.
Oh, nice.
Nice napping.
AP Calc with Mr. Hauser this year. Really fun.
Nice.
Life Essentials with Miss Wiley.
You were definitely not napping in my class, Sam. You were too busy making fun of me to be sleeping. All right, and how about maybe let's just 2 more. Favorite restaurant like to go out to eat?
I'm gonna have to go with El Cap off of Parent.
Candella's family, like our little small family restaurant.
I'm gonna go with Mexico restaurant.
And finally, if you could live anywhere, like when you grow up, your dream place to do your adulting, whether that means raise a family or just have fun, whatever it is, like where do you want to live when you grow up?
Say anywhere on the water.
Okay.
New Zealand.
I'd go, honestly, nicest neighborhood, Riverside of Richmond. You gotta have a vacation home in the mountains, though.
All right, well, thank you all so much. Congratulations on all that you all have accomplished, and best of luck at the league meet, as you said, next week, and in states, I guess the week or 2 beyond that. And thanks for joining us.